Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the reorganization meeting for the Board of Education this evening. This meeting runs a little differently than most. There's a reorganization part. There's going to be individual items that I discuss and I share with you to grab this piece of paper or grab that piece of paper, and then we'll move forward. We'll vote for a president, and then I'll step aside. But I'd like to call the meeting to order. In accordance with the state sunshine law, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending a notice of the time, date, and location, and to the extent known, the agenda of this meeting on October 6, 2021, and December 22, 2021, to the Home News Tribune, the Times, posted on the district website, placed in the board office, and in each of the district schools, sent to the Plainsboro and West Windsor-Plainsboro libraries, and Plainsboro and West Windsor Township clerks. So this reorganization meeting of the West Windsor-Plainsboro Regional School District for the period of January 22 through January 23rd, in accordance with the state sunshine law, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending a notice of time, date, location, and extent known, the agenda of this meeting to the Home News Tribune, the Times, and West Windsor-Plainsboro public libraries. Copies of this notice also have been posted in the board office, filed with the Plainsboro and West Windsor Township clerks, placed in each of our school boards, and posted on the district website. So I have the election results. So in West Windsor, we have 5,874 votes for Elizabeth George Chiniera. In Plainsboro, we have 2,910 votes for Rachel Juliana, 2,620 votes for Pooja Bansal, and 57 write-in votes. So congratulations. Okay. Now at this time, we'll have the oath of office administered. So what I'll ask you to do is I'll ask you to raise your hand, speak into the microphone, and read the oath that's before you, and then sign it by the end of the meeting. Pass it to me, and that way I have it on file because we'll be audited for it. So, Ms. Bansal. Please.
I, Pooja Bansal, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. So help me God. I, Pooja Bansal, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a board of education, and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19, Section 4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A, Section 12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, Ms. Juliana.
I, Rachel Juliana, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. So help me God. I, Rachel Juliana, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a board of education, and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19, Section 4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A 12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. George Chiniera.
I, Elizabeth George Chiniera, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. So help me God. I, Elizabeth Georgianera, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19, Section 4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations. Okay, at this time, I'd like to take a roll call vote. We'll start with Ms. Bonzo. Yes, here.
Yes, here.
This is a curveball. This was not on the agenda, but, sorry. Ms. George Chinera,
Here.
Ms. Ho,
Here.
Ms. Juliana,
Here.
Ms. Krug, Ms. McEwen,
Here.
Ms. Maliga,
Here.
Ms. Dovich.
Here.
Okay, thank you. All right, now the next action is going to be, we're going to vote for the president of the board. So at this time, I would like nominations for the president of the board.
I'd like to nominate Rachel Juliana for president of the board. She's been our vice president for the last 3 years, and she's terrific.
Do I hear any other names? Hearing none, Ms. Juliana will be the candidate. So what you'll do is complete the white slip and then pass it over to me, to the center, to me. And then I'll read them out loud.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Okay, I have them all. All right. I have Miss McEwen. I have Rachel. Okay. I have Miss Bonsall. I have Rachel. Juliana. Miss Juliana. Sorry, got a little informal there. Ms. Juliana. I have Miss Juliana. Ms. Zovich. I have Ms. Juliana. Ms. George Chinera. I have Ms. Juliana. Ms. Ho, I have Ms. Juliana. And Ms. Maliga, I have Ms. Juliana. Okay, with that, congratulations. And this time I'll turn the meeting over to our president.
Thank you, Chris. And I do want to just thank very much my fellow board colleagues. Thank you for entrusting with me this honor and privilege of being the board president this year. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So now we'll actually take nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Graylin McEwen for the role of Vice President for the West Windsor-Plainsboro Board of Education, please.
Not hearing any others, we'll close nominations. So if you can all just vote on the blue ballot and send those over to Chris.
Yes. Okay, I have, that's just funny. I have Ms. McEwen. I have Ms. Maliga, Ms. McEwen. I have Ms. Bonsall, Ms. McEwen. Ms. Juliana, Ms. McEwen. I have Ms. George Chinera, Ms. McEwen, Ms. Zovich, Ms. McEwen, and Ms. Ho, Ms. McEwen. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Graylin.
Thank you.
So as part of the reorganization, there are a number of items that we need to vote on to continue the regular business of the school district. So I will need a motion on items 7 to 34. Louisa and Graylin, are there any questions or comments? Chris?
Okay, I'm going to start with Ms. Bonsall. Yes, it would be, yes, and 7 through 34, let me see. Nope, yes, it's whatever you choose to vote. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Ms. George Chinera,
Yes.
Ms. Ho,
Yes.
Ms. Juliana,
Yes?
Ms. Krug. Oh, sorry. Ms. McEwen,
Yes.
Ms. Maliga,
Yes.
and Ms. Zovich.
Yes.
I apologize. I got them out of order here because I was following what I was reading instead of moving. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Okay, so that closes our reorganization portion of the agenda. So we are now moving to our regular meeting for regular business items. So I'll turn it over to our superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. First, Happy New Year and welcome back to sort of our second half of the school year. Today, we opened up after a change in schedule, and I want to thank the community for graciously rolling and adjusting with the additional day of closure, as we had a professional development day on Monday to help our staff get acclimated to the change in schedule. We were able to open successfully today with over 90% attendance. At the high school level, we saw over 95% of our students arrive and attend today in school. Our middle schools, we had over 90%. In our elementary schools, just over 85%. We're appreciative to all of our families for trusting and having faith in the school district and all the efforts of our teachers and administrators, our custodial and nursing, counseling support and support staff, and all the work that folks have done to be prepared to reopen and to continue with in-person instruction. Over break, as everyone can assume, we did see a tremendous number of positive cases within the community. Working with the health department and through parents that have taken the time to register through Genesis, we know that there are 322 confirmed student positive cases throughout the district. These are students that were either positive on a PCR or on an at-home test, so they're presumptive positives, but we're trusting our families in the reporting to our nurses. We have another 197 students in some form of quarantine or isolation as a result of being either symptomatic or close contacts, primarily close contacts to a household member, as the students themselves are unvaccinated, which would be primarily our younger students that are still in the vaccine eligible cycle. For our staff, we saw over 100 positive cases over the winter recess. So we, again, 322 positive, 197 in quarantine. That's on the student side. And for our staff, approximately or just over 100 positive staff members. Incredible thanks to our HR department for the work that they did throughout the winter break, supporting our staff as they navigated various quarantine requirements and notifications and contacting and supporting our staff through that, and our administrative assistants that worked to help us arrange substitute support and classroom coverage. To our families, I know this time comes with great anxiety and a very active and rapid spreading variant. We, as a result, have a lot of families that are calling in requesting virtual or requesting information or links or requesting some form of guidance from our nursing department. I would ask that when you make those calls, that you leave a message and you do not call multiple times. Someone will get back to you. When we have numerous parents making 30 to 40 repetitive calls at a time and inundating our nurses and our secretaries in our schools, it's only throwing those offices into chaos, trying to get an immediate answer, and it's actually slowing down the process of helping all families get the answers that they're requesting. Our nurses, our secretaries, our administrators are not your enemy, and they are there to help and assist, but I'd ask you to treat them with respect and to not have them be the brunt of the anxiety and fear that our families may be facing. I know all too well the concerns that the variant and having a COVID-positive family member is and the impacts that that has to a household, and we will work diligently to support families through that process. But again, it requires everyone to trust the system and to give our staff grace and time to do the work to support all district families. As such, we've also been working to identify booster clinics for our 16 and 17-year-olds that became eligible. And thankfully, Penn Medicine has agreed to run a clinic on January 21st and January 22nd at High School North. More information will be forthcoming as we solidify the details. And we are currently awaiting guidance on 12 through 15-year-olds. The FDA approved the booster for 12 to 15-year-olds, I believe it was yesterday, and the CDC advisory team meets tomorrow, and we hope that the CDC director will sign off on that later in the week. If so, that booster clinic would then become expanded to 12 to 17-year-olds. And again, we'll be putting out more information as we go forward. Another area that we've been working on is this idea of surveillance testing and making weekly testing available as an opt-in process for families. This would be specifically for students and staff, not for family members, but for students and staff. There is a program currently in district through the Department of Health for unvaccinated staff members, and while it's a small number, we have been testing unvaccinated staff, representing approximately 4% of our staff, about 55 staff members, 60 staff members weekly, and that's a once-a-week test. That program will be expanded. We have been working with a particular company for the past several weeks, and the company admittedly has had some challenges, but they have now fixed the database, and we expect this week to be able to roll out a registration process for families to opt in, and then the testing would most likely start within 2 weeks. What happens in that kind of surveillance testing, it's a saliva-based test. Families would register. It is paid for through the Department of Health. Students would get a test kit delivered to their homeroom, or depends on the grade level, but their homeroom in elementary, their language arts class, I believe it's going to be in middle school, or their first period class in middle school, and study hall at the high school. Students would get that sample picked up, and there would be a drop box process with a biohazard drop once a week, and then within 2 days, families would get a direct notification. It goes to the families, and the district gets information. It's all part of what you choose to sign up for. So parents will learn more about that if they choose to participate. But this is another measure for us to help survey our community. And again, that will be eligible for staff and for our students. You know, there's been some questions raised about why go in person and what the rights of the school district are. Again, I would just say that the rules have changed over time, and parents need to be mindful that what was allowed in 2020, 21 is not necessarily allowed today. We get our guidance as a public school system from the state of New Jersey, through the governor, through administrative code, or from the Department of Education. And within that, there are certain provisions and parameters that we must follow. Now, currently, there's some school districts that are not following those rules, and there is a little bit of a Wild West mentality. But WWP has upheld the rules throughout. We've advocated and fought for things to be put in writing at the governor and the Department of Education level. We will continue to advocate for our families, but the rules as is, the rules as are right now is that the school district has to and is expected to be in person, and then closure decisions should be at the lowest level working outwards, a classroom, a grade level, a building. That is the guidance from the Department of Education. In addition, the governor eliminated Executive Order 175, which said that we could allow a virtual option. The only virtual option we have is for COVID symptomatic exclusion, which is primarily based on COVID positive or unvaccinated close contacts. The DOH, the Department of Health, issued guidance on December 15th. They have been updating guidance periodically throughout the pandemic to schools. The current DOH guidance on December 15th, we were notified over break to uphold that guidance for students with quarantining, which means that unvaccinated students need to be placed out for 10 days if they're exposed as a close contact. But vaccinated students, those that are vaccinated in a 2-dose cycle, if they are close contact or a close contact, whether it's a household member or a close contact in schools, they do not quarantine. The same is true for vaccinated staff members. They do not quarantine, as per the Department of Health for the state of New Jersey. These are rules that we have upheld and been consistent with throughout the pandemic. The school district will continue to advocate with the department for clear guidance, and will continue to advocate with the governor to place that guidance in writing. We cannot govern a school district based on statements at a press conference or statements said to a reporter in passing or caught on Channel 7 New York News. That is not how rules work. The guidance needs to come through executive order, needs to come through broadcast memo, needs to come through direct guidance from the department or the Department of Ed or Department of Health. We cannot cherry pick the guidance we choose to follow. So there is no virtual choice option allowed in the state of New Jersey. So parents might say, then why are some districts offering it? There are some districts that have looked and essentially bent rules to follow guidance that they have picked to follow. We have worked with our local county superintendent, our health department, our board attorneys, to look at what the rules are for and what we can and cannot follow. We have been advised directly from the Department of Education that those districts that are doing so outside of the parameters and rules established for school districts. We will not do that. We put too much at risk and jeopardy, including daily attendance and school funding. We will continue to follow the Department of Health rules for students when it comes to quarantine status. And we will continue to work to support our staff throughout the pandemic. And we will continue to create a safe learning environment. And that only works if everyone in the community works to follow the rules, notifies us of symptoms, excludes themselves if symptomatic, gets tested, and takes care of one another. There will be asymptomatic spread. That is inevitable through the pandemic. We have seen that throughout. Right? And as you can see over winter break, with no school in session, 322 students tested positive, the majority of which were vaccinated. We encourage all families to consider a booster vaccine. And everyone should be mindful that it is possible that the CDC's recommended new guidance that came out over winter recess will be reviewed and potentially adopted by the Department of Health. And the Department of Health for the state of New Jersey is currently waiting for the CDC to update their school-based guidance so they can reflect upon and update their guidance. That has the potential to be game-changing guidance in the sense that the CDC currently says for adults, if you were within 6 months out of a booster vaccine, you are considered unvaccinated. That changes contact tracing completely, and is something that if the Department of Health for the state of New Jersey upholds for schools, will be a game-changing decision for how we contact trace staff and how we contact trace students. We learned a lot through 2020, 2021. And it's my sincere belief that we owe it to our students to attempt to stay open to the point where, and at that point where it's no longer safe, that we cannot safely staff our buildings, or we have spread to the point of we do not have containment. We're not at that point. During the school day today, we had 0 reported cases in school. A credit to our families for keeping their students home if they were symptomatic. A credit to our staff for properly reporting symptoms, and for folks staying home if, in households with, if they're unvaccinated and their children were exposed to someone who's a close contact. That was positive. That's how we fall and get through this together. We continue to provide middle school and high school athletics, and we will continue to provide after-school opportunities for our students, to the point in which the NJSIA or the governor or some other entity shuts us down. Again, there's a lot of things we learned through 2020 and 2021. And again, we owe it to those students to try to stay open, to provide experiences for them. We did make the modification to the half-day schedule because the one place of tremendous vulnerability has been lunch. And we felt strongly that if we can maintain open and we could eliminate lunch, we had a better chance to keep masks on and to keep our students in school and to eliminate that exposure. A credit to our administrative team as they built this year's master schedule back in April and March and February of a year ago. We built a schedule that could pivot to both in-person, virtual, or half-day. That was something we didn't do in 2020, 2021 at all grade levels, and we were able to accomplish that this year. And on Sunday, in a multiple-hour meeting, 55 administrators voluntarily jumped on a call to make sure we were ready for Monday, to make sure our staff was prepared for today. A credit to all of them for the work that they did to support their staff and their students. So with that being said, I also want to say thank you to the members of the board at this table, as well as members of the board that just left us on December 31st. January is a month in which we provide and pay respect at School Board Recognition Month. This is an opportunity as a school community where we can recognize the countless hours of volunteerism of the members of this Board of Education and the work that they do. There's a resolution on tonight's board agenda recognizing our board members, but I just want to say specific thank you to all 12 of you, right? Well, 11, our new 2 members, Pooja and Liz, who joined us today, the remaining members of the Board of Education that are returning, as well as Michelle, Tony, and Martin for their collective service. Their job is to make sure that the district is run well and to represent the voices of the community. And there's a lot of opportunities for dialogue and feedback. They give endless hours to the school community. I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work you do in service to the community. And with that, I'll turn the meeting back to our new board president, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Adderholm. Okay, so now we'll turn it over for our student representative reports. Hello.
Good evening, everybody. Allison couldn't make it tonight, so I'll just be covering her part of the report as well. So eBoard is currently planning the 2022 Tonight Show, which will be a huge focus for Student Council during the next few months. So during our next few meetings over the months, we will keep you updated with this event. On December 15th, Student Council eBoard met with Dr. Adderhold and Dr. Dauber to discuss proposals, as well as some new student ideas about how we can be progressive in an effort to move forward as a school community. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to Dr. Adderhold and Dr. Dauber for their time. High School North does have a new media center procedure, which started today. So details can be found on the High School North website. And for some school and sports updates, the National Honor Society recently completed its December volunteer event, which was named Christmas Packages for Penn Medicine. So during the event, the NHS body gathered together to make many mini care packages, which included a handwritten card, a candy cane, a hot chocolate package, and some stickers for the staff at Penn Medicine. And during the last day before break, we drove to Penn Medicine to drop off the box of packages to the nursing staff. High School North Esports Club is planning on hosting a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Tournament in January. And last of all, congrats to the boys and girls swim team for their winning records. So the boys swim team currently has a record of 4-1, while the girls team has a winning record of 3-1. And I'm gonna close this off by saying a special congratulations to Michael Wotanko, who broke the boys 100-meter freestyle record. And he now holds 2 records at High School North, so big congratulations to him. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their evening.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So in the last few weeks before break, we had a few important things that went on. The first thing is Winter Spirit Week happened with a few new days like Dress Up as Your Favorite Movie or TV Character Day and Twin Day. So there were some new ideas that were thrown out, and it was a pretty good amount of participation. Student Council also successfully held a Cash of the Classes fundraiser, which encouraged each class to donate money. The classes were competing to see who could donate the most money, and the winners are still being tallied. Bake sales have still been ongoing, so Student Council has been bringing some money through this. And the class councils for each grade were planning to do fundraisers as well. Their progress on the development for those slowed down a little bit over break, and it'll probably still be delayed because of the new concerns, but they're still trying to develop those. And Student Council is also in the future planning to hold a movie night and a dodgeball tournament, which is new. But both of these events are also delayed, so I'll keep you guys updated on those in future meetings. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, thank you, Eddie and Anj, for coming out and giving us your reports and keeping the board updated. Thank you.
Normally at this time, we would have, and it's as advertised, our board ethics presentation by our board attorney. Unfortunately, our board attorney was unable to be present this evening, and due to a last-minute conflict and the number of reorganization meetings that happened throughout the state, the firm was unable to have another attorney present. So we're just going to simply move the presentation. We're not in a requirement to do it this evening. All board members have a copy of the Board of Ethics 10 Board of Ethics rules to acknowledge for Chris. And this will be done most likely after the vacant seat is filled and that board member is able to, new board members able to be seated. So we'll most likely do it sometime in late February or early March. And so we'll make sure that happens at that time.
Thank you. Okay, so that brings us then to the first opportunity for public comments. The board invites thoughts and reactions on agenda items and items of concern from members of our community who are present. Each participant is asked to give his or her name and address prior to making a statement, which will be limited to 3 minutes in accordance with Board Policy 0167. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. This public comment period shall be limited to 60 minutes.
Hi, Linda Jeevers, 20 Hawthorne Drive, Princeton Junction. I just want to say Happy New Year, and I wish everyone good health and much happiness. Congratulations to Pooja Bansal, Rachel Juliana, and Elizabeth George Cheniera on your elections and re-elections. I also wanted to thank Michelle Case, Anthony Flaris, who I've known many, many years, worked with him, and Martin Whitfield for their service in the past. I know they put in a lot of time, a lot of energy, so I'm grateful for that. And of course, the rest of you, it is, as Dr. Adderholt said, School Board Recognition Month. For those who don't know, I did serve on the school board for 6 years, so I'm familiar with many of the things that you do, although I will say the COVID challenge is something new. It's something new for all of us. Yesterday, the West Windsor Township Council held its reorganization meeting, and I was sworn into a 5th term. And Sonia Gawas was voted in as president, and I was voted in as vice president. And I'm also liaison to the school board this year and to the parking authority. So also as a council member, we're Board of Health members. So I just commend Dr. Adderhold, all the members of the board for trying to keep the schools open, keep everyone safe, healthy, and informed. It is quite a challenge, and things change sometimes day to day. It is not easy. We have similar challenges, although at a somewhat smaller scale, obviously, at the township level. But I just want to commend you for doing the best that you can to keep everybody going to school as much as they can. If it's virtual, it is, whatever happens. But I know you've been working very hard on that, so keep up the good work. And if I can be of any help with any issues, just let me know. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda. So no committees met since our last meeting, so we have no committee reports. So we'll move on now to the voting portion of our agenda. So can I please get a motion for administration items 1 to 4 plus the blue addendum? Robin and Liz. Are there any questions or comments?
Okay, we'll start with Miss George Chenera.
Yes.
Ms. Ho.
Yes.
Ms. Maliga.
Yes.
Ms. Zovich.
Yes.
Ms. Bonsall.
Yes.
Ms. McEwen.
Yes.
And Ms. Juliana.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We don't have any curriculum items this evening, so we'll move on to the finance items. Can I get a motion on finance items 1 to 5? Louisa and Loy. Are there any questions and comments on the finance items?
Okay, we'll start with Ms. Ho.
Yes.
Ms. Jeez, I'm stuttering. Ms. Maliga.
Yes.
Ms. Zovich.
Yes.
Ms. Bonsall.
Yes.
Ms. Chenera.
Yes.
George Chenera, sorry. Ms. McEwen
Yes.
and Ms. Juliana.
Yes.
Okay.
We move on to personnel. Can I please get a motion on personnel items 1 through 3? Graylin and Robin? Any questions or comments?
Okay, we'll start with Ms. Maliga.
Yes.
Ms. Zovich.
Yes.
Ms. Bonsall.
Yes, but I will abstain from item 3.
Ms. George Chenera.
Yes, and abstaining on number 3.
Yes. Ms. Ho.
Yes.
Ms. McEwen.
Yes.
Ms. Juliana.
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, I forgot the green addendum. Sorry about that. So let me also ask for, can I get a motion on the green addendum? Pooja and Graylin.
Okay.
Any questions or comments?
All right, we'll start with Ms. Zovich.
Yes.
Ms. Bonsall.
Yes.
Ms. George Chenera.
Yes.
Ms. Ho.
Yes.
Ms. Maliga.
Yes.
Ms. McEwen.
Yes.
Ms. Juliana.
Yes. Thank you. Do we have any board liaison reports? Any new business? Okay, that brings us to our second opportunity for public comments. The board invites comments from members of our community who are present. Each participant is asked to give his or her name and address prior to making a statement, which will be limited to 3 minutes in accordance with Board Policy 0167. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. This public comment period shall be limited to 15 minutes. All right, so seeing no comments, we'll close the public comment period. So we will need to go into closed session now, so I'll need to read this statement. So whereas the Open Public Meetings Act authorizes boards of education to meet in executive session under certain circumstances, whereas the Open Public Meetings Act requires the board to adopt a resolution at a public meeting to go into private session, now therefore be it resolved by the West Windsor-Plainsboro Regional School District Board of Education that it is necessary to meet in executive session to discuss certain items involving personnel matters. Be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential will be made public as soon as feasible. The minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Be it further resolved that the board will not return to open session to conduct business at the conclusion of this executive session. So can I please get a motion to go into closed session? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. We're adjourned. Thank you.